The Holocaust is infamous for having many horrible camps where innocent people were enslaved, tortured, and killed. Out of these camps, the Auschwitz concentration and death camp stands out as one of the most infamous and deadly. Auschwitz was first established in Poland in May 1940. It was located about 150 miles away from Poland's capital, Warsaw. Auschwitz consisted of three camps known as Auschwitz I, Auschwitz II, and Auschwitz III. These were also known as the main camp, Birkenau, and Monowitz. On the gates of each is written a quote that means, "Work makes you free." This was constantly said to give prisoners false hope, as well as to receive a higher quality of work. The main camp consisted of barracks where prisoners slept, an infirmary, a kitchen, and one gas chamber. Block 11 and the execution wall were also located in this section. Many tortures and executions were carried out here. The second, Auschwitz II, was completed a couple years later. This section was where most of the exterminations took place. Selections, where the fit were separated from the weak, occurred here frequently. Those who failed were sent to one of the 5 gas chambers hidden in these camps. After prisoners were gassed and killed, they were taken to a crematory for disposal. The third camp was built mainly to house more prisoners, as the camp had become extremely congested and overpopulated. The entire camp was surrounded by large electric fences made to keep prisoners locked inside. Over 1 million, or 1 in every 6 Jews, were murdered here. The gas chambers, by 1944, were capable of claiming the lives of about 6,000 people per day. Upon arrival to Auschwitz, inmates were stripped of all clothes, belongings, and had their heads shaven. Those who passed selection received a tattoo of a number. This number was a form of identification and a method of keeping track of the number of prisoners at the camp. Finally, they were given striped prisoners' clothing and one pair of shoes that most likely did not fit correctly. Once they had been registered, prisoners were put straight to extremely hard work, where many would die from injuries or exposure. The Auschwitz camps were liberated on January 27, 1945, by Soviet soldiers after 5 long years of torture and killing. Unfortunately, the Nazis had known the army was almost upon them. When the Soviets finally arrived, the camps had been almost completely abandoned. The Jews that had been there were shipped off or forced to go on death marches in the freezing weather to different camps deeper into Nazi territory. However, the Soviets were able to rescue about 6,000 to 7,000 prisoners from the Auschwitz camps, most of which had been deemed too injured or sick to make the journey and had been left behind. Today, the 3 Auschwitz camps remain as museums open for the public. They consist of statues, memorials, and several exhibitions. Among these are many displays full of items such as shoes, luggage, eyeglasses, brushes, and more. Having museums such as these are important in today's society so that people can be educated on the horrific event that was the Holocaust. The more that people know about what happened, the less likely it is that history will repeat itself.